Hey everyone, and welcome to another NintendoFuse GameChat, where today we're talking about the Smurfs' Dreams on Nintendo Switch. Well, the fate of the Smurf village apparently rests in our dreams. Gargamel has devised a new evil scheme, of course, to take out the Smurfs, and he casts this cunning curse on the bushes, the Sarasapilla bushes. Of course, they give me a bush that I can't pronounce. It's causing a deep slumber across all the Smurfs as they eat their delicious leaves. And so you play as a male Smurf or a female Smurf, which is really interesting because I've always
Yeah,
thought there's only one Smurfette, but
there
apparently
is.
there's another female Smurf that you can play as. You can play it single player or as a co-op game, and you're going to be jumping into these dreams in order to rescue your fellow Smurfs and bring them all back from their slumber before Gargamel can take out the Smurfs. So this game has been, according to the public relations and all the different marketing for this game, they've said it's very similar to a Mario game, a 3D Mario game, and get that sort of experience within it. And so I'm interested to see what your experience has been like, Barry.
Yeah, so first choosing the character, I understand the male female option to let everybody be playing, but canonically there are no female Smurfs. It was just the male Smurfs. Smurfette was created by Gargamel to go in and infiltrate, and that's why she's the only girl. So I don't know where this other female Smurf came from. Weird way to change canon, but I digress. First thing I noticed was you can tell they were shooting for the moon in terms of production value with the budget of someone eating on ramen noodles. Like there are some really pretty graphics, of course, and the whole telling the whole story, but it just felt cheap. It had this really it did not leave a good first impression. I'm like, this feels so cheap. There's no voice acting. There's virtually no sound effects. It's very stilted animation, and it is very much a show don't tell, which is normally good, except you have to have show and tell. You can't just show me and not say anything else. And then, running through the village, it was very quiet because everyone's sleeping. But Papa Smurf was there and awake and says nothing. Can't talk to him, can't do anything. What? You see in the cinematic that he's like, "What happened? Oh my god!" And now I get no reaction from him. So he's a stilted cardboard. Okay, not off to a great start. So then you go into the dreams, and in the dream world, you have to go and rescue all the Smurfs. And what I really liked is the levels are crafted around each individual Smurf as it's their dreams. So the first one is the chef Smurf, and the dream is all about, cooking and baking, and I thought that was really clever. And I thought a lot of the level designs were very good, and they were very varied. Like the second part, because each dream consists of 3 worlds or 3 levels and then a boss battle. It's like the second one, it's all about like the sticky, mechanic, but from like frosting and stuff like that. And the third one, you're in the oven and like you're hopping along spiraling Cinnabons and stuff like that. I'm like, that they had some really cool creative designs. Control wise, I think it controlled fine. I would have preferred a double jump as opposed to the weird hover thing, and then the weird mechanic where you stop in a bubble and you
Bubble.
slowly gravitate downs.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like some of the stuff I got using that mechanic was I cheesed the system. Like I wasn't supposed to, because it took me like 10 or 15 tries of jumping, hovering, and then going to the bubble at the right moment and slowly descending that last little bit to get to a ledge.
Mm.
I feel like a double jump would have just been great, and then maybe a
Did you
double jump
jump
with a hover.
out of the bubble?
No,
If you jump out of the bubble, you get a little more distance.
I
And
kind of
you
like slowly
and in
fell.
a later level, you have to do that to get to some ledges. There's
Oh.
no way that you're going to get there unless you use that mechanic.
So yeah, I just give me a double jump.
Yeah.
But again, double jump and then like hold it to hover, kind of like a Yoshi. That would have been cool. You really don't have an attack per se. You can pick up things with R and throw them, which is weird to use R instead of Y, like just let me punch, or throw with Y. You can also get a gun and shoots, which is good, and fun when it does actually work right, and the targeting works right. You collect your MacGuffins, so you have the cherries or the berries that you have, and then you have 5 blue mushrooms and a thing of yarn per level, or at least per the main levels. And the nice thing is that when you get a blue mushroom, it tells you which of the 5 it is. So if you get like number 2, oh, I missed number 1. The bad thing is that the levels, so it's done like 3D World, but the levels are gated off. There's sections. So once you move to another section, can't move back. So if you missed a mushroom in a previous section, you can't go back and get it. And I missed a mushroom. I exited the level after beating it. I went back into the level and I got the mushroom and I exited out because some platformers will just count that you got it. Not this game. No siree. It did not
Interesting.
work for me. It
Because
wanted me to do the whole thing.
that's interesting. Because if you get it and you die, you keep it.
Even if you exit the level afterwards?
Well, I didn't try that, but if
Oh
you
no.
if you're
Yeah,
progressing through the game, like if I got something, I just jumped off a ledge and died, but I grabbed it on the way down,
you
then I
keep
get to
it.
keep
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I went and got the mushroom, had it, and then I exited and it didn't count me as getting it. So I was like, I don't really want to play through the entire game or level again to collect one thing. Like and if it was like a Mario level where it's short, like you could rush through a Mario level in a minute or so, fine. But some of these levels go on for a long period of time. Like these are
Mhm.
longer levels than I was expecting, which is both a good thing and a bad thing depending on what you
Yep.
like. But I thought the levels were varied. The enemies were fine. They were a little annoying, but they were fine. The platforming worked well. Use of shadows was good to help. I'm not sure what all the items truly do, but I was collecting what I could. Boss battle was interesting. Um, Interesting fact about the boss battle is there's apparently checkpoints. Like it's the traditional boss battle where you have
Yeah.
to hit them or do the thing 3
Yeah.
times. But like I died in the second part and I
Uh-huh.
expected I would have to start over, but no, I was in the second part again.
Yep.
I like that. 2 hearts is very low though. I feel like give me a third heart. It's weird to only have 2. I don't know if you can upgrade it later. I figure you could because 2 is very low.
I
But
haven't yet. Yeah.
you haven't, yeah, because I feel like that's and if you get hit, the next like big item you would break gives you a heart. It seems like 100% of the time. So
Hmm.
as long as you could survive, death, there is no real penalty to death. You just go back to the last checkpoint, and they're plentiful. And like you said, you keep everything, but you know it worked. Uh, I when you beat the first world, like, and you rescue the chef and you awaken him. I went over there. First thing I did, it was like, let me talk to you. You've got to have something to say. No, everyone's again silent. I'm like, come, there's not even a dialogue. Thank you for saving me. I can't get a thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
No, nothing. It's like there's no point in this hub village of Smurf Village because no one talks to you. No one does anything. That's it. It's a waste of time. Just bring me back to the galaxy. Why do I have to keep running back to the pillow through this hole of nothingness? It's like you were right there. You had one job.
Yeah.
You have an IP of established characters. Make them talk. Make them say things.
Yeah.
But that's my
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Steve, what you got
Yeah, it
thoughts on
is
that?
really interesting to realize that they're just miming, pantomiming every communication in the game. Like when you get into the level with the chef or later ones as well, and there you find out the problem, but it's all just pantomimed and thought bubbles that are like, oh, I need berries in here, but he's not saying I need berries in here. It's just like pointing, and there's this and like okay, but the good news is Barry that you do eventually get to interact with some of the residents there. So once you unlock the tailor, which is so after you do the chef, there's a kind of a bonus level before you go to the next full level with Smurfette. And you do get to unlock the tailor, which then allows you to once you get him unlocked, you can talk to him and you can change your outfit within the game. So you can unlock things with the amount of berries that you collect around the game. I'm the blue mushrooms. I'm pretty sure you have to collect them enough to like unlock further dreams and levels. But the other things, yeah, you use those to unlock character designs and stuff like that. So I have like a soccer uniform on now or something like that. And then the threads that you collect in those as well. Those will also go to unlock specific costumes that are in the game. So eventually, you do get to talk to some of the Smurfs that are in the village. Not all of them, not most of them, but at least a couple of them in the end.
which breaks immersion completely in a character. Like, you have an established IP. You want to talk to these characters. You want
Yeah,
reaction from these
you do.
characters. Like, they seem happy, but not a thank you. Who are you, mysterious Smurf? Thank you so much for coming into my dream and saving me.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you noticed as you're flying into the dream and everything. Sometimes he's falling asleep.
Yeah,
And so are we playing as I forget the Smurf's name, but is it Sleepy or whatever the one that falls asleep all the time? Is that the main? Because I was playing as the male Smurf, but
it
is
can't be,
that
because
who
who
you're
the hell the
playing?
female one is?
I don't know, but he's like sleeping as he's going through. I'm like maybe that's who I'm playing as, but he's not sleeping when I'm playing. He's only when he's going from one level to the next, and that's weird. And yeah, there's a lot of weird things in this game, but at its core, I think I had fun with it.
Yeah.
I want to continue to progress. I mean, in the beginning, I was slugging through a little bit. I played more than I thought I was going to, mostly to make sure that I get enough game footage to play while we're having this game chat. But by with a little more of experience with the game, I started realizing, okay, I'm enjoying this and everything, and the mechanics do change up. So in the beginning, you get these bombs that you can throw with, like Barry said, with the R button, but eventually you get this squirt gun that you're squirting with unlimited ammo that auto aims, which is really interesting sometimes. But then in another level later on, you unlock like a hammer that you're able to like whack things with. But that's also interesting because all of a sudden you're still getting these green, I forget what they are, but they're like green that where you can use that as a bomb to like do something. But anyway, you get this, but that same R button is used to use your hammer. And so you end up whacking it instead, and you do something else with it. So it's just weird. It's like, I don't know if you really thought this through. Some of the collectibles, I think you're meant to jump to your death on. There's no way that you can get it without jumping to your death. They're just like hanging out there over a ledge. I don't know how to get to that without and maybe there is a way if you're like really careful with your jump and bubble and then hop back and everything. But like you said, like since there's no penalty for dying, I just jumped off, collected it, and then started back at my checkpoint over and no big deal. So I think it's an interesting place that they've put this game because it's going to appeal to kids for the most part because it's Smurfs. Although I don't know if Smurfs are as popular as they once were when we were kids. So maybe adults are going to be into this game. But it seems like it was designed for kids overall because of very, very, they're loose with dying in the game and everything. You're not losing anything, so it seems like it's lending itself to a younger audience in that way. Except for some of the platforming that you have to do in later levels is ridiculous. I'm like,
Yep.
I can't imagine a 6, 7, 8 year old being able to pull this off. But maybe it's meant to like learn. But then, I mean, you were okay with the jumping and everything and using your shadow, and for the most part, it's okay. But there's a lot of times where I jumped off and I thought I was right where I needed to be, and I'm plummeting my death. So I don't know if it's like 100% of the time. I think it needs a little more polish, and it also needs a little more clarity on what are you, Smurf Streams. I don't quite know what you are. What I've experienced is fun, but I'm also confused by you.
Well, I definitely think the developers looked at Mario 3D Land and 3D World and said, We want to do that. And I think the PR agency ran with that idea. And if you enjoy 3D Land and 3D World style Mario games, you will probably enjoy a good amount of this game. But you have to take the good with the bad. You have to take the cool level designs with the bonkers platforming. You have to take the nice graphics with the fact that everyone's a cardboard cutout and no one talks really. You have to take the fact that you have these generous checkpoints with the fact that you got to replay a level if you missed one thing. Have fun.
Mhm.
And that was one of the things that like Princess Peach's Showtime did earlier this year that I complained about is where it gates you off. Oh, I missed one item. I got to replay the whole level again. I don't want to do that. It's a platformer. Let me go back. If you're going to show me that I missed something, let me go back and find it. If I know I'm missing the second mushroom and I know where the first one is and I know where the third one is, I know the second one's got to be between the two. Let me go back and find it. Let me explore. Don't say, "Oh no, you got to do this whole level again."
Yeah.
And the levels take a good 8 to 10 minutes when you, if not longer, if you don't know what the hell you're doing or
Mhm.
figuring things out and exploring. So that's a lot of time to ask for you to go back to pick up one mushroom.
Right.
Like have appreciation for your game, your gamer's time. Clearly, you're also teetering on the easy edge where death has no matter and you have no lives. So go complete. Make it fully user accessible and friendly, or don't. Make it challenging and punishing. Don't give me both, like a little bit of each.
Mhm.
And I think that makes a mixed message because, like you said, Smurfs. I don't know if they're really big anymore. I don't know if they're on TV. We had them growing up, but again, it's who is this game for? Who
Yeah.
is this honestly? Who is this game for? Because if it's for kids, it needs work. And if it's for adults, it also needs work. I will say the pillow graphics are really nice when you jump into the pillow. Like there's a lot of detail. Those green things I did want to mention. Those like green bags that have
Yeah.
like berries and stuff in them. You pick them up and you have to throw them. But I picked one up and I didn't find a target to throw it at, and I went to the next section where you go on like these grind rails. You lose it.
You
It's
lose it.
gone.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I never had a chance to throw it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a pain in the butt. Like,
You
don't
can
give me
also
something.
throw them at other Smurfs, and you get
Yeah,
berries
no.
for it.
I did do that. Believe me, there was plenty of, especially with the gun. Man, I shot a lot of Smurfs. I know that
Yeah.
sounds bad, but I did. There's also the wave mechanic. We did have to talk about that. There are some hidden items where you have to wave at a particular Smurf for it to be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, here's your item." What the hell is
So you have
that?
to wave at pretty much every Smurf you see,
Yeah,
because you're going to get
yeah,
a berry, they're going to ignore you, or sometimes that's also how you find some of
the
the hidden
threads.
mushrooms and stuff like that. Is all of a
Yeah,
sudden you find a hidden Smurf that's like in something that's usually shaking around, so he's like hidden underneath a bush or something like that. You wave at it, he pops out, and sometimes you get something from it. Sometimes it's a blue mushroom.
yeah, which is just a weird mechanic.
Yeah.
So it's
He's
like,
gonna wave her,
don't give me an
hi,
emote.
hi,
Hi.
hi to
Yeah,
everybody,
just wave to
because
everybody.
that's the
Hi, you
only
gonna
voice
it,
acting the whole game.
yeah. Yeah, hi, and you don't give me anything. I'm taking my super soaker and shooting you. It. I feel like there's a really good game in here,
Hmm.
but I think it needs help coming,
Yeah.
into fruition and identifying itself, because it's touting with the next Mario game or Mario what, like Mario Killer. No,
Mm-hmm.
like you will, if you, like I said, if you played 3D World and 3D Land and like them, you will find enjoyment here. But if you think this is going to be the next Mario 3D game, no.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but it's also not great.
Yeah.
It's average.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say, yeah, as well. I'll reiterate it. I think it's a confused game. I think it doesn't know what it is, and therefore we, as are playing it, we don't know what it is. We don't know what we're playing as well. But the game is $39.99 on digital. I don't know, Barry, do you know if there is a
There's a
physical version of
physical.
this as well? So there's a physical
Yep.
version, assuming that's also $40 here in the US. And if you want to buy some more DLC, there's also one DLC content that you can download for $2.99. This is the Cosmic costume that you can wear in the game. So you kind of have like this cosmic skin and gold outfit on as well. So as far as I know, I don't think the different costumes do anything to the gameplay whatsoever. But if you want to change it up, you can also spend an extra $3 to get the cosmic outfit as DLC. So $40 for the Smurfs Dreams. What do you think, Barry?
I think if you really love 3D platformers, and again, you really enjoyed 3D Land and World, I think wait for a sale. If you were lukewarm on 3D Land and 3D World, but you do enjoy 3D platformers and collectathons, you might find enjoyment out of this game. And again, I would say wait for a sale. If you're a diehard Smurfs fan that loves platformers, you know what? At $40, you might enjoy it. Although you'll probably get upset that you can't enjoy conversing with your favorite Smurfs and they just stand there looking at you with cold, dead eyes, like you don't exist. And maybe you don't. Maybe it's all a dream, a philosophical dream. I don't know. But if you don't like platformers and you don't like the Smurfs, then I recommend you stay away.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah. If you're not a Smurfs fan, number one, why are you watching this video? Um, but yeah, but if you're not a platform fan at all, stay away. But yeah, it's not a horrible game.
No.
Like we've said, it's also not a fantastic game either. It's somewhere in between that's a little confused and it really doesn't know what it is, but what is there isn't horrible. Like I enjoyed the vast majority of what I was playing. I was just confused some of the times. Like, why did they
There's,
do
there is
that?
there is fun to be had for
Mhm.
sure,
Yeah.
but there's also frustration.
Yep. Well, thanks to the publishers and developers of the Smurfs Dreams for giving us a chance to play it early and check it out. The game does release on October 24th, which is probably the same day that we're going to be dropping this game chat. So hopefully you get a chance to, maybe check it out yourself. And if you do, let us know what you think. We'd love to know that down in the comments as well. But if you enjoy this sort of thing, be sure to subscribe to us so you can get more game chats right here on our YouTube channel, in addition to our biweekly podcast and several other videos that we post on a regular basis. Be sure to check out NintendoFuse.com as well for even more content. Thanks, Barry, for joining me for this game chat, and we'll see you guys next time.